The previous generation X3 really was the runt of the BMW litter, but this new one is just so much better. In fact, for most people, it's not really going to be worth spending the extra for the X5. I mean, the design, it looks very similar to its bigger brother, doesn't it? What's more, it's almost as large inside as well. For instance, the boot is absolutely massive. There's easily enough room for a whole family's luggage for a 2-week holiday. You could even fit a couple of tents in there, although to be fair, I don't think many BMW drivers go camping. They're more likely to stay in a hotel. Anyway, one of the things I like is the fact there's no boot lip, so you can slide luggage straight in, or use the tailgate as an impromptu bench. Now, if you bear with me, because I want to show you this, you can get 3-way folding seats, which means that you can lower the central armrest if you need to carry skis. And when you fold down the other chair backs, you almost get a completely flat load bay. Another good thing is the fact that the rear doors open nice and wide, so you can actually load luggage this way. There's plenty of practicality here in the front of the X3 as well. For instance, the glove box, it's a reasonable size. Got a handy central cubby here. There we go. Although I don't know why BMW keep on insisting on fitting these mobile phone holders. I mean, whose mobile phone's that big? Anyway, the door bins, they're large enough to hold big bottles. As for equipment, well, leather, climate control and parking sensors are standard across the range. Well, you can get options like a widescreen sat-nav and a head-up display, so you don't have to take your eyes off the road to know what speed you're doing. But the biggest thing about this car, I have to say, is the improvement in quality, because really it is so well made that you have to dig right down to feel any cheap feeling plastics. You can get the X3 with 2 diesel engines, a 2-litre or a 3-litre, which is what this car has. And I have to say, if you can afford it, go for the bigger engine, because it's absolutely stonking. It'll return 47 miles per gallon. But the best bit is, it'll do 0 to 62 in just 6.2 seconds. You can really make good use of all that performance as well, because the X3 handles extremely well. There's virtually no body roll in corners, the steering's really sharp, and of course you've got the added benefit of 4-wheel drive grip. However, while it can be fun, the BMW can also be very relaxing as well. It's extremely quiet at speed, these chairs are very comfortable, and I have to say, you've got to go for the optional adaptable suspension, because it just smooths out all the bumps in the road. And that's the problem with the X3 and, well, BMWs as a whole, because you do have to spend extra on them to get the best out of them. For instance, if you go for the 2-litre version, you only get a manual gearbox, and it's not very nice to use. You really do want this excellent 8-speed auto. As for other problems, well, I find the seat adjustment a bit annoying, because, quite frankly, there are far too many levers that you get a bit confused about what does what. I mean, what does this one do? Oh yeah, it tilts it. And then this one, that base bit, and there it is, at last. That means it can be a bit of a faff finding an ideal driving position. But if you follow me to the back, I'll show you something that could prove more annoying. Now, the issue isn't with space, because even very tall adults will be absolutely fine here in the back. The problem is this, the large transmission tunnel, because it effectively renders this central seat almost useless. And so this car isn't particularly good if you want to carry 3 people in the back regularly. And finally, there is the matter of price, because the X3 is rather expensive. That said, it is surprisingly cheap to run, and it will hold its value very well come resale time. In fact, overall, it's now so good that it almost makes the X5 redundant.